Hi, guys, welcome back to another Unmaskthetitle. We've all heard that history repeats itself, but to what extent does this cycle actually repeat itself? And that's what we're going to discuss today.
So, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the cycle that we kind of repeated, which was COVID or the pandemic. And then the previous one, which is like a very worldwide, very well-known pandemic, was the Spanish flu.
Which is the influenza.
Yeah, influenza, yeah. Type of it being Spanish flu. So, which was in 1918. So, and then we had COVID-19, which is about 100 years later. Obviously,
Yeah.
in between this time frame, we had a bunch of other pandemics and cycles.
Yeah.
But I think, yes,
And COVID is also a type of
Pandemic.
influenza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, same family as
yeah,
well.
I think it does repeat itself. I think it's a known fact that
History.
no matter how advanced and how different we become, how technologically advanced we are, history does repeat itself.
Okay, so that's like in a medical sense, let's say.
Yeah.
And okay, we can chalk it up to the fact that, okay, there's still, new diseases coming up because it's based on mutation and all that. But like for me, another thing that I really noticed about history repeating itself is war. Something
True.
that is constantly going on. If we want to talk about, let's go back to what everyone considers the greatest wars,
Yeah.
which was World War I and World War II. When World War I happened in 1913 to 1918, they didn't call it World War I. They called it the Great War.
Yeah.
Because at the time, everyone was like, okay, this is the worst thing that can happen to humanity. We must do everything in our power not to go through this again. 20 years later, 1939, okay, like 21 years later, the same thing happened again, basically. And not that different in the sense that it was pretty much the same countries that were involved. Quite similar sort of, imbalance of power. Again, the same concept of one person, both happen to be in Germany, trying to think that they're better, they deserve to be in control, and then other countries coming and attacking them because technically they wanted control. It's not
Yeah.
like they were actually trying to just protect humanity. And honestly, we might just be on the brink of another one right now.
True.
And I feel like, okay, until when are we not going to learn from the things that we have read about, experienced, seen, and we're just going back into the same cycle despite the fact that we claim, no, we're better. No, we know more.
I think it's human nature. I think I don't think we ever learn.
So that's the question.
Exactly. Yeah.
These sort of events make me question, is it truly nature or nurture?
Expand on that.
So I don't know if you've heard of nature versus nurture. I'm pretty sure you have, in maybe the same way or different. But it's the concept that, are we born as we are, or do we become the personality and the person we are through the things we experience in our life? So nurture is based on the people you're around, based on your upbringing, you become Omar. Nature is that, no, Omar was born Omar.
Yeah.
No matter what, he would have been this.
I think both.
So you think both?
Yeah, because we just come to this life with, like, each person has a personality. And then there is something that affects this personality, which is the environment that surrounds this
In a good way or a bad way. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think both of them.
Mixture of both.
You say mixture. What about you?
I think it's a mixture of both as well.
I think we don't learn
Just
and
don't copy my answer.
Right?
it's
I feel
true.
like they're just like, okay, whatever Fatima said.
No, I think like she said, but I'll expand on it. It's we come to this world as pretty much like a clean slate. Okay, we're just babies, and we basically don't know anything, don't have anything in our minds, right? And that clean slate, we start to basically write on that clean slate with the things that we learned from our parents, mom, dad, I don't know, another sibling might be there.
So that's nurture.
That's nurture.
Where's the nature?
The nature comes where I think sometimes there was this one video where I watched, it was two twins, identical twins, and they were sitting next to each other, and both of them are very identical, but very different personalities. One was crying at the song that was playing in the video, and one was dancing to the song that was playing in the video. Yeah. So I think the nature of the two identical twins were very different. One was very jolly, and another one was very groggy and didn't like what he was hearing. Although it's identical twins, but I think the personality is within your DNA.
So okay, so you're saying basically some aspects of our personality is in our DNA.
Yeah.
And some
plus, like, you have this issue whenever there is something happening, and then you think twice. Why? Because you say, okay, if it was to my personality, I would do this, but if it was to the environment around me, I will do something else.
Trying to adapt to people around you, basically.
Yeah,
and that's, but you know, like, I would agree with you. I also would say that yes, it's not so clear cut, it's not black and white, it's not only nature or only nurture, it's a mix. But when you look at history and you see so many things repeating itself, I mean, even if you go at a more human level, at a closer level to us, ignore history, ignore wars and things that are like related to power or whatever. Look at your mom and your grandma, for instance. I believe that majority of our moms have complained to us about behaviors that they have witnessed in their mothers, saying, oh, my mom did this, my mom did that, I will never do this.
50 years later.
Exactly. They do the same exact behavior that their mom did.
By the way, even us.
And we do the same
as
our moms.
We say, oh my God, my mom is like this. I just hate this thing. And then 5-10 years later, it's exactly the thing that I was complaining about my mother. I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
So you're saying this is nature?
I think there might be more of nature in effect than nurture.
Yeah.
Logically, I have witnessed something, I don't like it. If it's nurture, I shouldn't repeat it. So why do I naturally repeat it? Yeah. And we keep saying, this is human nature when someone does something, but this is human nature. So what is it then? I think our nature is taking over.
See, I think it's a tough one, but and then again, there are a lot of aspects of your environment that changes the way you are. I mean, even environmental factors can even change the color of your hair, can change the color of your eyes, and they always say you are who you're surrounded with, right? So if I'm surrounded by a druggie, eventually, even if I don't want to try it, eventually I might fall into the trap of giving it a try once, right? So I think it's a 50-50, but again, there is a sort of seed that's been planted in our head from very young age that I don't think we can ever
get rid of
or wipe off completely.
Do you have any other examples of history repeating itself?
I think fashion, because let's go back to the 60s or 70s,
especially 70s.
Yeah.
It's the earliest that I can go back, not more. There was this pants that were
the bell bottoms.
Yes. The shirts, the colors, that
even the hairstyles.
Yeah, kinda. Look at
her hairstyle right now.
Yeah.
It's giving 70s. Yeah.
I mean, when I look at the pictures of my mom and my father back when they were in the universities, I literally laugh at the fashion and the hairstyles they were.
And the pants that were till here.
The high waist
the
pants.
Yeah.
They were
high-waist
like super.
And by the way, they came back in just not so long ago.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
I had one. I
yeah.
literally had a super high waisted
yeah.
bell-bottom pants
Yeah.
that I would wear.
I mean, half of their shirts were oversized. Now everyone
It's
is
a trend.
wearing. Yeah, now it's a trendy
Exactly.
thing.
And also the bags, you know, the old bags that they
Yeah.
used to, the shoes.
Yeah.
The shoes, like, let's say the heels with the
Blocky.
very bulky heel. What else?
And lots of things. I mean, come on, like what was it
Accessories also?
last year? One of the fashion trends was the Y2K, year 2000.
Yeah.
Year 2000 was not so long ago, Habibi.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it has come back as if like, oh, we're bringing back retro style.
Yeah.
First of all, it was only 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Just.
24 years ago.
Mm.
Okay, don't make me feel old. But there's that fact. And then, see, that again makes me question nature versus nurture. Because, like, okay, aren't we supposed to be coming up with new fashions, new modern taste and whatever? Then why does our taste automatically revert back?
Goes back to
So after that, I was thinking about this. I noticed something. The idea is the same. So there is base, okay? But it changes. And this change, still, it is the same idea. It's like going to a new office, like a brand fancy office. But still, it's an office. And still the server will crash every day, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same idea, but like advanced.
So you're saying like our core cannot change, but we are just modifying it.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's what I was
can.
saying. Like personality is burnt into your DNA, and I don't know if I want to take it there, but a lot of scientists even are saying that gay people are gay from the time that they're born, and it's being printed into their DNA. And
Okay, that's a very, very topic. Let's
not go deep
I'm just
into
gonna
these
stop
things.
it right there before we get into trouble
But I
with
get your
anyone.
point. I get your point. You're right.
I'm not saying. Look, okay. Let me clarify. I'm not saying that whether it is like that or it's not like that. I'm saying there are certain personalities that are burnt into our DNA. Now, there are people that believe that certain trait or characteristic is burnt into the DNA of the child, and the child is born like that. Okay, I'm not saying either or is right or wrong. I don't know it. I don't have any scientific proof behind it, so I can't back up nor say or deny it.
I mean, yes, like it does make sense because psychologically we know that there are children who from a young age show signs of certain mental illnesses like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia and stuff like that. So obviously there are certain things that are, let's say, wired in from birth, or at least from a very young age. But I just believe that there should be more to it. I believe that maybe there is certain aspects of our personality and our brain and our capacity to think that is untapped.
Yep.
And that is the reason that we tend to repeat this cycle in life. Obviously, the simple example of our moms and grandmas, yes, that's us repeating things within the same generation. But there are certain behaviors that are happening and transpiring generations after each other. Like right now, the possibility of war and stuff is generations away from people who were there in World War II.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we've all studied it, and we should know better. People in power should know better.
We should try to avoid it, but we didn't.
I mean, they're saying they're trying to avoid it. It hasn't yet reached the World War
Level.
stage.
Yeah, but
it's
there
not
are
that
still
far.
War, you know.
Yeah.
Still going on. Yeah.
Civil unrest
Exactly.
is still there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we don't like to see that's going on. I think civil unrest again comes down to, I think, nature. It's really about nature. You're just born like that. I think.
Yeah, I feel like
you're
there's
just violent
certain,
or you're not.
yeah. And like, okay, but is it violence or is it the greed for power?
I think it's a greed for power. It's not violence.
Or greed for power. I think it's just burnt into them. It's how they are. It's how they've been raised. And more often
so
than
you're
not.
saying how they were raised.
Okay, no.
See,
okay.
These are the things. Like we're so like I feel
how
like
they've grown up. Okay, how they've grown up, not by the influence of mom and dad. Maybe because of this. Maybe they're like that. They're born like that. Okay, but no matter how much the mom wants to change that child, the way he is, the way he treats his brother or sister, can't change it. Okay, but he could, from his environment, he could even become more aggressive.
okay,
Or that aggression can suppress, but it can never be completely taken away.
eliminated.
Yeah, so that's why I'm still on the nurture and nature.
Yeah.
It's a mix.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm starting to be more on the nature side. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around the fact that like so many things has happened again and again, despite us knowing. But even like with COVID that you talked about, the way the world panicked at the idea of a pandemic and like everyone shut everything down and all that. It's as if there has never ever been a medical emergency like this, but there has been Spanish flu.
Not this.
True, but not to. But it was not to this level. I mean, look at it in a different way. If God forbid, if another pandemic comes along, I wouldn't see the world shutting down everything anymore, destroying the economy like they did with COVID-19. I think we had sort of knowledge from what happened with COVID-19, and we will try to avoid it if we will have another pandemic. So it's kind of, yes, the history is repeating itself, but as you said, we're gonna try to modify it, in order to avoid certain things, but we will have definitely a pandemic.
So you're. I think we're all on the same page that it will happen again.
Yes, it will happen again, definitely, but that, I mean, with modification. Modification means probably in terms of pandemic, we will not be shutting off the economy, closing off the countries, businesses, and so on. Yeah.
I mean, it's the death toll that we had with COVID-19 was like 7 or 8 million people. And then we had the influenza flu, which was like 50.
Spanish flu.
Spanish flu, which was 50
million.
million. Okay, so I don't think anyone ever learned anything from 100 years ago.
But it was like a bit more advanced that by this time we were using masks, we were having some protections, the equipment in the hospitals are more advanced to rescue some emergency patient, but at that time they were not this advanced to rescue those patients.
Exactly. So I think even though
the death rate was much less than
much more, but by that
for
time
Spanish flu,
but
much less now.
Much less now.
So I think history I don't think will ever teach us anything, because you're saying that World War I should have taught people for World War II, and World War II should have taught people for the current wars that are going on.
Look, I think it did. I mean, if you compare it, for instance, that World War I and II happened within 20 years of each other, both equally devastating.
Yeah.
And then, now after World War II, there was the instances where a potential World War III could have happened, multiple instances.
Yes, so did we learn anything?
It didn't reach a world war. Even right now, I mean, we're all aware there are certain conflicts across the world that are like pushing it to that, but some countries are holding back.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether they're holding back because they have learned, because had they learned, maybe they wouldn't have caused certain conflicts right now. Or is it just because we have more advanced weaponry now that if it does reach world war, it's probably going to annihilate the entire world population.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, is it because of the nature and the nurture, or is it just out of fear right now?
Listen, just take it, like, think it personally. Sometimes you hear things that happened before to you, to any person that's near you, okay? And then you don't usually take the short tip of the story that already happened. Sometimes you need to live in your own experience to take your own topic or
to
idea.
learn from it. Yeah, that's what we call, like, in Farsi we say the person needs to hit their head on the rock themselves in order to learn that this is a rock and you shouldn't hit it, basically.
That's why they say whenever you raise a child, don't let him just take his hand whenever he wants to touch the fire. I know it's dangerous, but he needs to learn. He needs to go near the fire, see the flames, that it's very hot, and then he will take his hand back and he won't repeat it ever again.
So you're saying that maybe it's because just by reading about previous history, we haven't learned certain things.
Yes, because no
it's
one
a very
lived.
valid point.
It's like they gotta do it to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's war.
Even if it's war.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many other things like on a, I don't know, like for personal experiences and stuff. There are things we always tell ourselves, like, okay, we discuss this with money.
Yeah.
We saw people in our lives who lost money. We told ourselves, no, we should save. We shouldn't spend money like that. I personally ended up spending money when I should have been saving.
Yeah.
And then again, I questioned myself, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why don't you learn?
Yeah. So you're on strong on the nature side.
I'm very nature, very natural, very nature. English flew out.
By the way, I've read something that, like, made me think for a lot of time. It was the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Okay, that's interesting.
So what I was just thinking about this description of this sentence. So what I said is things might be changed or advanced, but in the end, it's the same with the same concept.
Okay, so like it's the same thing. They just change the wrapping of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a simple modification to the thing. That's
The
it.
same.
So
The
essentially,
core problem.
evolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evolution is a tricky topic.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I kind of want to believe in it, kind of don't want to believe in it, because then we're all just repeating ourselves. So do I believe in it?
I don't know, because see, with evolution, essentially the concept is that yes, we have a certain DNA at our core, and then but it's mutating, which can kind of relate to the concept that we're talking about, which is yes, our nature is strong, certain things are in our nature, and then nurture takes care of the small modifications. So I guess evolution
Do
can
you
make.
believe in evolution?
I personally believe in it.
You
Not
you believe in the actual
No, wait,
evolution
wait.
that I'm thinking
Okay,
of?
so okay, I'll tell you this. Listen,
Wait. So you kind of believe in it?
I kind of believe in it.
Wait, do you believe in evolution?
If she does, I do.
Such a good friend.
Do you believe in evolution?
I support her.
No.
It's not about support.
You tell me your answer.
Yes, I do.
To what extent? Okay, I'll break down the extent. Do you believe in evolution?
Yes and no.
Okay. Yes and no. Why? What is the yes like for? What is the evolution that you believe in, for example?
What part?
What part of us has evolved and you actually believe that it's like because of evolution?
It's not about us, but it's about everything in our life. You know, I think evolution is something that I think I will believe in it because it's happening. You know, in every way in our life. I don't think that let's say back in the days, 1960s,
Right.
we had a very simple landline all right, there was no smartphones.
Right.
Life was so difficult back then in terms of communicating with families, with relatives, with friends, right? Right now, we have smartphones.
Right.
It's far much easier for us to communicate, even if we're in a different countries,
Right.
right? Like you have a friend in America,
Right.
in the US, and you're living here in Dubai. You can communicate with him for years,
Right.
right? Throughout the cell phone or internet. Back then, there was no such thing. This is evolution.
Okay,
right?
this is evolution of technology.
Okay,
So it's
but
not
it's part of our life.
okay.
right?
I'm talking about the physical
no
evolution.
Like
Oh,
human,
physical
physiological.
Physiological evolution. Do you believe in that?
Do you believe in it?
I mean,
I do, and I'll explain to what certain extent.
Okay.
I don't.
Explain
I mean, you
yourself.
try because I'm not getting your point. Do
Okay.
you-
That's why I told
Like in the sense that
physiological
humans
evolution.
have evolved.
Okay, so there's two schools of thoughts. One is the one that you were created, or you were monkey Neanderthals. And
So that's evolution.
that's evolution. So now, obviously, us as Muslims are not going to go down that path,
Of
right?
course.
Okay, wait. I'll stop you there. Okay, or you know what? You go ahead and then I'll tell you my point of view.
Okay, I think I believe in evolution, physiological evolution, not to that extent that we were born apes and we evolved from apes and now here we are.
Yeah.
I think we were all created and we are evolving physiologically. Now, the certain extent that I believe in is like, for example, if you see photos of super olden days, they had much bigger jaws, right? And nowadays, for whatever reason, maybe the type of diet that we have, we don't require such robust, large jaws.
True.
So we've evolved that, our jaws are probably shrinking. Then their feet size, their hand size, their teeth size. There are some people that when I used to extract some teeth from certain nationalities, they were super tiny, as opposed to another nationality, they were huge.
Yeah.
And I would
Their
always
bone density is different.
exactly. And I would always think like this is evolution, and we're all going through it. Like, for example, some people are born without wisdom teeth anymore. Why? Because
we no longer need it.
We no longer need it, and the jaw is quite small now. It doesn't even have the space for that wisdom tooth to come
You
out.
were born without it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
4 of them.
Congenital missing. I do have two as well.
You have congenitally missing.
Two wisdom teeth. Yeah.
So I think that's the extent of evolution that I believe in. Like, for example, some people are born without a lateral incisor. I mean, that's evolution. Maybe that's one of the teeth that we don't use. If you think about it, what are we literally incising with?
Yeah, nothing.
We're incising with the front ones, right? So that's the extent of evolution I believe in.
So, okay, listen. I hope no one comes at me with pitchforks for this. But
I'm ready.
Listen,
no,
we
I
gotta,
mean in the comment section. I don't think any of you are gonna say anything to me.
Okay.
Basically, it's not something it's not like a personal belief or something. But in high school, one of the things that they taught us in Islamic lessons was that, okay, God, we're Muslims here. We believe in creation by God.
Mhm.
Okay. Sure. So, according to my Islamic teacher who taught me here in Dubai, God created us and He planned for all this, including evolution and the Big Bang Theory and everything. Okay. She explained it in the sense, and it was written in the book. Okay.
In the textbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, or it was written in somehow, but she explained it in this way. That
She was creating the story. I think.
don't know. I think maybe because I was a British school, maybe she was trying to be on both sides. I don't know. But she explained it in the sense that, yes, because scientifically there is proof of human physiology changing. It's like
yeah.
there's fossils, there's everything there. Neanderthals have been proven. It's not a theory. They looked very different than us.
Yeah.
Okay, some people still look like that, but that's another topic. And then the concept is you cannot
think they're gonna
debut
turn on the flame on her.
Yeah.
If anyone's watching to the here and
comfort.
She's ready.
What's it called? So it's proven that we have changed. She was saying it that it's not such a debate as like, oh, if you believe in this, it means you don't believe in God creating. No, God created all this. He intended for all this. And out of our free will that God has given us, we're making certain choices that might change and shape the path we're going on. Doesn't mean that God doesn't know about it or it was out of his control that we're evolving. No, it was, he intended for this evolution to take place. So I'm not saying I believe in evolution because I don't believe in creation. No, I believe in creation through evolution. If that makes sense.
You're actually right. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, because the ones that believe in just evolution and science are the ones that say there was no like creation. We were
just
we were just coming out of Big Bang. I don't know how.
Yeah,
and
that doesn't make sense to me. Okay,
we became apes. Suddenly, we are now this.
No.
Just
Because if you believe like that, then okay, where did that initial atom come from that burst and into the Big Bang theory? So no, that's why I'm going with creation through evolution. Okay.
Yeah.
And on that basis, if you think about it, then yes, there's a lot of things that is in our nature. And I think that's part of why cycle repeats. Even if you go back to Neanderthals and stuff, why did certain civilizations go out? Because of wars.
True.
The same wars we're going through right now.
Civil unrest. It was all constantly wars, battles, and it was
disease.
About
disease, war.
Yeah.
Disease,
Just remembered Vikings. Out of nowhere.
Literally. Valhalla.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's like that. I mean, it just goes over and over again, and I think it's power hunger that repeats itself.
And which I believe that to my core, that the desire for power and the desire for violence are two of our most innate natures.
Yeah.
I think every human has that desire for power and every human has that desire for violence. It's just a matter of how much that desire is in you.
True.
Is it enough to topple you over, or is it too little that you relinquish all power? There are people that really just want to give up any power they have in their lives.
Yeah.
And again, that's their nature, I think, not nurture.
You're changing your mind?
Did I convince you?
She has a very, how do I say? She's very heavy into debates. Debates are either trying to convince you or trying to win the battle.
But she actually convinced me.
Convincing, yeah. She's kind of convincing.
No, but if someone was raised in a place that's very peaceful, okay? The people around you, they were like, there is no need for power. You just live your life. You just go to work. You have a nice family, nice kids, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And then whenever you're older, you won't think of power.
Okay, let me stop you there. I think, you've kind of convinced me now, okay, that there is nature over nurture. So let's split it into two categories. There's the genotype and the phenotype. Yeah. Right? Now, I think
explain this in a common language. We're all doctors, not everyone is.
So the genotype is actually the stuff that's built into your genome, which is your DNA and all that stuff, right? Now, phenotype is the stuff that's being built around you physically.
It's the physical representation.
Yeah, physical representation of you. So, like I said, I think through nurture and environment, your phenotype can change.
Yes.
But I think now, thinking about it, your genotype can't change. And I think your personality is burnt into your genotype and it's in your DNA. So I think coming to your question and your ideology that, if you're just in a peaceful place, there's no need for any civil unrest, if you have the tendency and the personality of being power hungry, I think even in that house has zero chaos, you're still gonna search for chaos.
True.
Yeah.
You're still gonna want to be the one to have the upper hand, and you're still gonna be the one to want to have the final say.
Okay, listen. Let's say two couples having a baby. Okay. They usually say, if it was like a little boy, whatever the father, like the way that he treats the wife, which is the mother, the son will treat her the same. So if the husband helps the mother, the boy still at a young age, he will go and helps his mother.
Okay.
If, let's say, he brings her tea, juice, he will do the same. If he go kiss her, like in the morning, show love, hugs, anything, the boy will do the same. And he will be the same till he's older.
Okay.
So how this will change to...
I think, okay, let me answer that. I think
and by the way, he will treat his wife the same.
Okay, so it's valid, but I think, let's say that person is not all about this personality, right? Like he's not always going to be showing love. There's always that underlying personality that, I don't know, maybe he throws his toys at the wall, or he breaks them and smashes them like him.
No.
Yeah, he used to break every car.
Yeah. So he might be loving his mom, kissing his mom, showing love to the mom.
That was what I was doing.
But in his free time, what was he doing? He was breaking cars.
No,
to repair them.
Because he wanted to be an engineer.
Okay, wait. How this comes? Because of his father, he likes cars.
Yes.
So he liked cars because of his father.
So that's nurture.
Yes. Yeah. That's why he was into cars. Maybe at that time his father was watching some things, taking him to like shops for repairing cars. I don't know. Yeah. So he was like, okay, I saw the big cars. Let me see the small cars.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. That's
for
you.
That's why he's like, that's a hard one. So that's why I said nature over nurture majority. I'm not saying. I didn't say it's the only thing, but I said we're mostly nature.
Okay, but she gave you two examples. Both of them are nurture.
She gave one basically.
Two.
It's combination in one. I take it.
I will think of it a second.
2 for 1 offer. What's it called? I think those are our exterior behaviors, but the core is the thing that is about the nature.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think we kind of discussed this, how like people can pretend on certain topics. Okay,
for a certain time they can pretend.
Yeah, certain time period people can pretend to be of a certain behavior, but eventually their core behavior comes through. So this is the basis of my understanding of nature versus nurture.
So do you not believe in true colors of people? Do you believe in the personality eventually coming out and they show their true colors?
Yeah, I believe.
Right. So that is, I think, the nature of that person.
The nature, like let's say the kid example that you gave. So his nature, that child, you're saying that based on seeing the dad being nice to the mom, he's going to be nice to the mom and later on his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be one of his core nature characteristics.
But at the same time, if he goes to a nursery and then he sees children smashing things, he will do the same.
Yes.
Because he lived in that environment.
Yes, but what will happen is that, okay, he has seen nice and he has seen bad. Which one he chooses to be is based on his nature, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, look, I don't think any of us live in an ideal world where we only see nice things or only bad things. We are always exposed, especially in today's world with Netflix and this and that and Insta, whatever. We're constantly seeing all spectrum of behavior.
Yeah.
So at the end, you and I don't necessarily have the same exact personality.
True.
Right.
Why? Even though we grew up in similar type of environments, we're exposed to similar people, we're still different. Why? Because
Here
my
comes the
nature is
nature.
different.
Yeah. That's what I told you in the beginning. I told you the child comes with a personality, which is the nature. But there is like a lot of effect from the environment that will change most of that personality.
So this is where we differ. She
Mhm.
thinks
Okay, wait.
it's mostly
Nurture.
nurture. I say mostly nature.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Okay? When we were kids, or let's say speaking about myself, when I was a teenager, I was a very sensitive girl. Okay? After
Was? Or still is?
Still more.
okay, let me tell you.
Let me tell you something.
At that time, it was more than now. I used to cry about everything.
Oh,
Everything
as a
that
teenager?
happened. Yes.
Okay, tell
He's
us
like,
the
I'm
story.
glad I didn't know her for a period of time.
Tell us
And
this.
after I went through a lot of things, okay, let's say with the friends, with people around me, that made me stronger to a point now. I still cry, okay?
Okay.
See, that's your nature.
Yeah, I still cry, but less. But I was, at that time, I didn't mind crying even in the street. But now, no. I'm
You
stronger.
only cry at home.
I only cry at home, on my bed specifically. But I'm stronger now.
Okay, so that's the thing. That's exactly what we're saying. In your nature is someone who's sensitive who cries. But it's just modified by nurture that now you cry in private.
No, but she means that the nurture
Has
and
been
her
strong.
environment
A lot
has
of me.
changed a lot of her.
If it had changed a lot of you, you wouldn't cry anymore.
No,
You would go slap them.
Yeah.
I
She's
I don't.
sometimes I do slap them.
No, not slapping, like no.
Pinch.
But yeah, just pinching, or I learned something that the biggest slap is your tongue.
Ooh.
Oof, oof.
So whenever you want
that's
very
a
to,
sharp,
deep.
yeah,
yeah,
sharp one.
It's
yeah,
very deep.
It's sometimes it's a sting, not a slap.
Yeah.
you don't need to do something physical. You just say it and that's it. You're done.
He felt that one.
No,
I felt it so bad.
no.
Remembered all the bruises. Ouch.
Mental bruises.
No, but the bruises from gaming.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
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 If it was not gaming, then
See,
no
for
bruises.
instance, I believe that my nature is I'm very feisty.
Argumentative, feisty little human being.
Wow.
She's packaged into a very feisty little ball.
you know that they, like an example, they put like a plate.
Yeah.
It's like a different example, but we can make it like this. How God made my husband, so they measure it by rice.
Yeah.
So love, they put just 2 pieces, and then I don't know what.
Anger.
Anger, they put a lot.
Okay,
So
I'm not angry.
No, we're just giving different adjectives, but
Or angry.
but if we were to describe your adjective in the amount of rice, it would be feisty, a bucket of rice, and then argumentative,
See,
probably.
but that exactly, and I
That's
think
your
that's
nature.
my nature. Because since I was a child, I would argue back. Okay, not in a impolite way, but I
She
wouldn't
wanted
stand.
to put her point across. My
Yeah.
point is my point.
My point is my point. I don't care if you're my mother, you're my sister, or you're my I don't know, colleague, or someone I don't know. I have a right to an opinion. This is my opinion. You're talking about something, you're gonna hear it, and that's my nature. The nurture part is just about how I may convey it.
Her nurture part is that I've told her stop being like that, so she's suppressed.
Let me tell
You
you.
didn't tell me to stop being like that.
By the way, I'm the same. Okay, I'm the same, but not.
But
to
then
the
when
left.
you lose, you cry.
No, no, I don't cry. What I learned, okay, that whenever you see that the person in front of you is not willing to say, okay, you're right, at the time that he knows, not you, she knows, and I know that I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay, I say okay, and I stop.
Yeah, if
And
I
it
feel
will
the
be
person
the,
is
the last thing that I say in that
Argument.
Yeah.
yeah, if someone is just being like a wall, yani, unaccepting of anything, yeah, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Mainly they're being walls, wallah.
In that case, sometimes you just gotta take a jackhammer to it.
Exactly.
I need to use my tongue.
But yeah, I don't know. I personally just I don't know, just from experience, from what I've seen in life. I mean, I love history. IGCSE history. And what's it called? And I really saw so many examples of it, of cycles repeating itself in, as we said, medicine, health, war, personalities, within same generations, within different generations, going back thousands of years. I truly still believe that majority of our personality comes from nature and a small
Or I think
effect.
we just live in a simulation.
I have another example.
Tell me.
I just remembered that. Okay, they say there is a plant,
Okay.
2 plants, okay? Put the 2 different plants in 2 different environments,
Okay.
okay? So the first plant in a good environment with good words or like
Positive environment.
Yes. And the other one in a negative one, okay? And you will see, it was an experiment for a period of time. You will see that the one in the positive, it was shining,
Flourishing as well.
yes, green, everything, like huge,
Right.
okay? And the other one was dying.
Of course, listen, that's a different.
And the nature was the plant.
Okay, no, but you're talking about upbringing in the sense that that's got to do with so many other factors. It's in terms of nutrition, lights, and all that.
No. I'm saying
She's talking about the actual environment. So basically,
The experiment
I remember
was the
this.
same.
I remember this. It was basically they had certain aspects as a control. For example, the plant requires water. The plant requires sunlight, right? So what they had done is they had put plants in the situation where both of them were getting the sustenance they required, but one of them was, for example, in an environment where it was listening to rock music, very loud and intense music, as opposed to another one that was next to a piano playing, right?
Yeah, listen, I accept that. Okay, let's go to on a human level. There are people who have, a lot of, and this is a large topic to be honest, but there are people who have done researches on human development, and yes, it's been proven that, for instance, children who come from unstable homes where there's a lot of tension, a lot of fights and stuff like that, the risk of them, or the chance of them turning to have mental illnesses or going towards crime and stuff is higher. Yes, that's completely agreed upon. But then that doesn't eliminate the kids who grew up in environments which were happy, on paper at least. They had all the things they needed, but still they also went down the line of crime or violence. That's why I'm saying our nature is like unchanged. Like there is like a lot of things in us that no matter what you do, it can be there. It's just, yes, it will be affected. I'm not saying nurture doesn't exist.
No, I know, but you're more on the nature side of things.
Okay. Final voting. For me, I give 51% to nature.
Nature?
Yes.
You switched?
No, I didn't switch.
Okay.
I stayed 50-50 for both.
Okay.
Okay? But I'm changing to 51% for nature and 49%
nurture. You?
I would say more toward nature.
I didn't convince you?
No.
You changed your own vote.
No, I didn't change. By the way, it was since the beginning.
You're more on my side now. It's okay. I take the
I'm
extra
always
1%.
by your side.
Allah. And you?
I see. The thing is, I would have to put
Remember
myself.
the plant.
I would have to put myself in this situation, and I think nurture has played a huge part in who I am. literally, if you ask me what is my nature, I don't know the answer to it. But who I've become today is because of what has been around me and what's nurtured me.
I wish you said this earlier, because I would have gone into details on that next time.
Yeah. So I think I'm still on the nurture side more than nature.
Okay.
So you're 51%?
51% nurture and 49% nature.
Okay, we're just like 2%.
Opposite. Yeah, opposite of you. Yeah.
I'm going 70% nature, 30% nurture. And I think on that topic, on that note, yeah, and on that note, we're gonna wrap it up for us. But do let us know in the comments, are you more on nature side or nurture side, or are you 50-50, and why? And yeah, see you guys later. And don't forget to follow us and like and comment and subscribe. Okay, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.